I'm Jason Kelly. I'm the author of Financially Stupid People Are Everywhere. Don't be one of them. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about why I decided to write this book and why I decided to call it that. Honestly, that title received a lot of resistance up front. People in the publishing industry were saying it's just too rude. You can't call people stupid. Well, notice though, it says financially stupid people are everywhere. And rude or not, it's just a fact. And I think that we don't talk about it is what allows us to continue over time. People are making unbelievably stupid financial decisions week after week everywhere across America. And that is why banks can run crazy and create things like the subprime mortgage crisis, which is still going on. The entire country, and to a bigger discussion, largely the entire world, is suffering under a burden of debt that is going to take a very long time to work off, and it might not even disappear entirely in our lifetimes. It's that bad. And these things can linger a long time, I live in Japan. We're in Japan right now. That's where I'm talking to you today, is in Japan. And look at this place. This entire country, you're looking around here right now, this entire country has been in a recession for more than 2 decades. This is the 21st year since Japan's bubble popped. And you know why Japan has been crushed for 2 decades? More than 2 decades? Debt. The government took bad bank debt on as a public responsibility so that this entire economy is paying down debt that created private profits prior to it being taken over by the government. It's the same thing we saw in America. The big banks go crazy using stupid people who will run away and speculate with all this money. They drive the prices up. Eventually the whole thing collapses. The bankers keep the profit along the way, and as soon as the bottom falls out, you and I and every other taxpayer comes in with money to bail these bastards out, to put it frankly. And that's what we did in America. For 20 years, while Japan's recession was dragging on, I guess at that time for 18 years into it or so, the U.S. Treasury Secretary of either party, didn't matter which one was in power, because they're all controlled by the same corporations anyway, would come to Tokyo and say, you guys got to be honest about this debt. You can't just put this private debt on the public balance sheet. The U.S. Treasury Secretary would tell Japan that every stinking year. Well, guess what? We get into the same trouble with banks. What does the Treasury Secretary, the President, everybody, the usual list of suspects do? Takes that private banking debt and turns it into a public liability, possibly for life. The U.S. is $13 trillion in debt and climbing. The craziness has to stop, and the end of this will start by changing financially stupid people to financially smart. And that's why I'd like you to read my book.